Hey guys, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your weekly tarot and astrology for May 11th through the 17th of 2020. We've got a lot going on in terms of astrology this week, so let's get right into it here. We have Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn all retrograding this week here. So this is going to urge us really to rethink our priorities, our strategies, our relationships, and our desires. Mercury also moves into Gemini, so it's going to bring up our communication, our interest in communication, and our ability to really have a lot of conversations. And we're going to be in the mood to just talk, say what's on our mind, say how we're feeling. We also have Mars moving into Pisces, and we're going to be fighting from a place of really deep beliefs and spirituality there. Venus, so let's get back into those retrogrades. Venus goes retrograde in Gemini starting this week, and it retrogrades for about 6 weeks every year and a half, 2 years. So this could bring up a lot of hearing from and reigniting old relationships with past lovers, old flames, people that, we haven't heard from in a while, and suddenly we're interested in again, and we want to hear from it. We want to see how they're doing. This is an extremely karmic time, and we're going to be dealing with a lot of unaddressed issues within a relationship. The Gemini energy really helps us to focus in on what's previously been said, especially if you're in relationships or you're dealing with somebody from the past, somebody that's coming back in. This Jupiter retrograde here in Capricorn has you looking back really on your beliefs that inform really your view of the world there, and it's going to retrograde until September 13th. We have Saturn starting its retrograde as well in Aquarius, and it will move later on into Capricorn and retrograde until September 29th. So this is going to bring up a lot of our limitations, our restrictions, our anxiety, our fear in relation to really our responsibilities. Maybe are going to be very tested, and we're going to be forced to learn more responsibility and how to step up to the plate on things, where we have needed to. It could be very hard but valuable lessons here, and offers us to really change and offers us to really recognize and admit the problem and work on it. So that's the astrology right now. We're going to get into the tarot, okay? Hey, Libras. All right, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're using the Tarot Muka here to look at your May 17th. Oh my God, I almost said it backwards. May 17th through 11th. May 11th through 17th, 2020 weekly. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. All right, one more card here. Ooh. All right, let's get into this here before I accidentally throw half the deck down. All right, so your theme, your focus this week here is Nine of Swords and the I almost said Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles here. So Nine of Swords is definitely not a pleasant place to be in. I'm not too surprised it's here with all the retrograde stuff going on, especially that Saturn retrograde that started this week. It is going to bring up a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, a lot of worries, a lot of places where we feel really restricted and limited, especially in the long term. Where are we going? What's going to happen here? How do these things play out in the long term? How is this going to affect my job in the long term? Where does work go from here? It feels like there's a lot of things that are up in the air, and you're feeling kind of insecure, frustrated, and fearful right now. The anxiety could be taking over, and you could just be in a really bad headspace in terms of fears, anxiety, and depression this week, because we just don't really know where things are going in the long term, and we have concerns about that, especially in the material senses of home, money, work. And that's no surprise to feel during these really crazy times right now. I know that it's really different everywhere, and it's a struggle for everybody right now. Four of Swords and the Hanged Man here are how you're feeling, how your emotional self is this week. Four of Swords, Hanged Man. For me, I overall feel this sense of exhaustion and needing time to step back. We don't really want to express all of these feelings right now. We might need to take a step back more because maybe, again, we're not getting enough sleep because of all these fears and anxiety. We could be having a lot of insomnia and a lot of worry, and it's draining us a lot. So we're having to kind of take that step back, rest more, take time for ourselves. And the Hanged Man says, it's time for you to look at this from a very different perspective. It's time to take a bit of maybe a sacrifice here. It's time of self-sacrifice, especially if you need to do a lot of things. You might need to take a day off to deal with these things. You might need to take a real look at how we approach things, how we're especially emotionally dealing with things, how we're feeling right now, and how things are going, and looking at it from a different perspective, looking at it from a more spiritually inclined perspective and a larger look at the whole situation. Because sometimes this kind of energy comes up and you just don't know when you're going to find that equilibrium, but by taking that time to yourself and, you know, taking, sorry, English, Helen, English, how do I put this? It's trying to really look at reality from a different perspective right now. You might see it one way, but you need to look at it from others' perspectives, especially with Venus going into retrograde and all this retrograde energy. Things need to be looked at and really paid attention to in a bigger way right now. It really has you rethinking your priorities, your strategies, your relationships, all of those desires that you have. And you need to rest with that right now, because for you guys, it feels extremely draining and is causing you a lot of stress and anxiety. The Fool and Four of Wands here are in your career. And that doesn't seem so bad for me. It feels also very celebratory, like we're starting a new maybe way of working for some of you. You could be starting at a new place, maybe if again working from home. So it kind of feels like a new adventure, a new journey. You don't really know how this is going to go out or where things are going to go, but you know, we might celebrate. We might as well celebrate while we're here. You know, at least we've come this far. The Four of Wands is harmony, and the Fool doesn't show a lot of worry and stress about that. So try to adopt a more lighthearted, energetic, and grateful, happy, harmonious energy towards work right now. And if you are needing to start something new and you are really just feeling like, you know, I think this is better for me, it's time to, you know, just go for it. With the Fool energy and the Four of Wands, it shows you celebrating, stepping into a new path that shows a lot more harmony, balance, and prosperity, success, things to celebrate. So could be some different things there. Not I said career. Love is going to be maybe a bit tough this week. We could be confronted with some of those conversations that we needed to have. We could be focusing on some things that were previously said or done, and we need to talk about it. We're going to need to really deal with these things. It's very karmic again with Gemini, Venus and Gemini going retrograde here. So whenever Venus goes retrograde, it gets real karmic. So regardless, we're going to have to be dealing with some karmic stuff here in terms of relationships. And if you're single, you're going to need to be putting to bed this whole heartbreak situation of, you know, oh, woe is me, I always get my heart broken, and all this other stuff. You know, we're going to need to put to bed and put to rest, really, you know, look at, deal with, and then release any past heartbreaks or pains that we felt that are affecting our current situation. Maybe in terms of bringing insecurity, bringing, you know, oh, people are just going to hurt me, and you know, victim mentality as well. And the Temperance card is in between that. So for me, with the World, you know, you're entering this brand new cycle, this brand new chapter, and we're putting, you know, to a close here this Three of Swords and all that stuff of the past. And we're really healing and learning from these experiences. This shows mature adaptation within a relationship or a marriage here. Or again, just in terms of love in general, there's adaptation here. You're growing, you've healed. Maybe you're working on healing your own heart here because you've been heartbroken. But the way you're dealing with it now is different than how you did before. And you've grown a lot because of it. You're not letting these things affect you as much. And you're still having love, confidence, and belief in yourself here that love is coming to you and that you can still have it. So there is a real sense of growth in how we approach relationships. There's a lot of maturity and adaptation and working together here, especially if you're in a relationship, to work past those Three of Swords and things that need to be said but maybe haven't been said. Ace of Swords is your card of advice. So be clear, be succinct, say what needs to be said. And you guys will be on the money here. Like your mindset and ability to, you know, determine, you know, right, wrong, whatever, moving forward, whatever needs to be decided, done, you can do that for success. You can really make a very triumphant statement here. You know, this is how things are going to be done. I'm sorry about this. You know, it's a very triumphant, powerful feeling of conquest, of going towards something, of, you know, a real yes, no type of situation. So apply your mentality and your ability to rationalize here this week, and ability to communicate, especially with Mercury going into Gemini. Our need to talk and our ability to communicate and talk is going to be really heightened, and our ability to want to connect more mentally and bridge gaps with people in those ways is going to be highlighted. So let's look at the oracles here, okay? We're going to pull a Stacey DeMarco and a Halloween oracle. Oh my god, we're gonna pull like Doreen Virtue and then a Halloween Oracle. I'm saying everything backwards. What's happening? Mercury isn't retrograde. So let's see here. We get let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. You know, when control issues come up within a relationship, we really have to look at how does that benefit both of us? Are we working as a team, or are we working for a singular control? It's not going to work that way. Let's pull a Stacey DeMarco here. So let go of any issues that you're needing control in, that you need, like, you know, you need to have some type of ability over the other person, or the other person needs that about you. We have to really work on adapting from those situations. Get some card of advice here. Stacey DeMarco, advice and guidance for Libras. Ooh. Interesting. You guys get werewolf, exploring wildness. And I feel that's very much in tune with that Fool energy and the Ace of Swords energy. It feels very different, like we're approaching things in a different, more wild way, in a more grounded way. Interesting. Oh, where is this werewolf? I was like, am I in the wrong book? What's happening? Okay, exploring wildness here. All right, so the werewolf is a kind of shapeshifter, but starting this in the wrong place here. Sorry, guys. The werewolf asks us to consider the balance of our, I don't know, I'm starting this in a really weird place. I'm so sorry, Libras, what's happening? I guess I did start in the right place. I haven't read this one in a while. The werewolf is a kind of shapeshifter, but one that has traditionally had little control over his wildness. In a way, an inner battle between civilization and wild animal nature fights inside the one body. The vitality, strength, and freedom of the animal versus the reason, control, and intellect of the man. Which one, though, is the dominant force? What is the healthy balance between our animal nature, one that is wild, carefree and connected to nature, and our radically civilized humanness, separate from our dominant over nature? The werewolf asks us to consider this balance and to delve into our own ideas of wildness, independence, and custodianship of the planet. When is the last time you spent all day outside? When is the last time you threw your head back and howled at the moon? Do you quash the vitality and curiosity of your body and mind by sitting all day in front of a computer? The werewolf challenges you to weave a balance between nature and your own nature. So interesting messages this week. I hope you guys enjoyed that, my lovely Libras. Do be sure to subscribe. Do be sure to leave me a like, a comment, guys. I love hearing from you, and I really appreciate all of your support. If you do want to book a private reading, guys, I am still doing 20% off of all of my readings right now, so take advantage of that, and all the information on booking is in the description box below this video. Also, guys, if you were interested in getting, you know, an astrology analysis, a compatibility analysis, numerology analysis, Truly Divine is a really incredible site that offers all of these things, and they're more in depth than any other astrology chart analysis that I've gotten, any other birth chart thing I've gotten, compatibility, numerology. Like, they blew them all out of the water. I cannot tell you how impressed I was. It was like 17 pages of information that was so on point. It was crazy. So do check them out, guys. You can use my code Deku30 as many times as you like, and give it to as many people as you like, and always get 30% off of your orders through them. So check that out, guys, and have a wonderful and blessed week. Namaste.